Okay, so Teresa Giudice has been talking, and you know when Teresa talks, people listen. She's sharing her thoughts on all those casting rumors flying around for the Real Housewives of New Jersey, or RHONJ, Season 15. Plus, she weighed in on that wild lie detector mess over on the Real Housewives of Orange County, RHOC. First, about those RHONJ casting rumors for Season 15, Teresa basically thinks some of her castmates, Margaret Josephs, Melissa Gorga, Dolores Catania, are maybe stirring things up just to get noticed. And she's like, no way has any test footage been filmed yet. She says, come on, if they were filming, everyone would know by now. You know how it is with this show. As for her coming back, she seems pretty chill, just waiting for the official call from production. She's not sweating it, as she put it. Second, she had things to say about that RHOC lie detector drama. Teresa actually said she'd love to see legit lie detectors on RHONJ, but she really didn't like how it went down on RHOC. She thought it was totally not right that Katie Ginella got called out when Heather Dubrow also apparently failed the test. Teresa's point? Hey, if you're going to expose one person for lying, you got to expose everyone who lied, not just pick on one person. She called it mean girl behavior. So it really sounds like Teresa wants things to be a bit more upfront and fair, even in the world of reality TV.
Okay, next we are going to talk about the recent accusations swirling around Real Housewives of Orange County star Katie Ginella. It's all centered on whether she's been using social media bots, automated accounts, especially right after that pretty intense lie detector test episode. So, a bit of context. This accusation popped up following that dramatic lie detector test on the show. Remember, Katie failed a question about whether Gretchen Rossi told her Tamra Judge had drugged her. Yeah, that caused a big blow-up with Gretchen and Jennifer Pedranti. So, first takeaway here, a Redditor going by the name uprudent-experience-3 recently put Katie on blast. They straight up accused her of using these bots to flood TikTok with positive comments about herself. What tipped them off? They noticed really striking similarities in a bunch of the comments supporting Katie, suggesting, hey, maybe these aren't actual fans chiming in. Second, the evidence they laid out for this bot theory, it points to super repetitive language across different comments and even, get this, identical usernames. For example, users named Evely and Emily, with Emily actually appearing twice, posted stuff that was almost word for word the same. Things like, Katie is bringing her A game, no doubt about it. It's clear she's not here to mess around. And another saying, Katie's definitely bringing the heat. Her energy is unmatched this season. Almost identical, right? The Redditor who found this thought the lack of variation was pretty amusing, even down to the bot names, saying Katie was kind of bad at doing the Housewives botting game. Ouch. This whole incident just demonstrates how quickly vigilant fans can potentially expose what looks like inauthentic online activity these days.
Next, we are going to talk about the escalating drama among Bravo personalities Scheana Shay, Kiki Monique, and Teddi Mellencamp over a controversial roofie rumor. This whole situation really illustrates just how intense things get in the reality TV world. Accusations fly, and suddenly it's this huge public battle for truth and reputation, pulling in stars from Real Housewives and Vanderpump Rules. Okay, so first up, Teddi Mellencamp, who you might remember from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, claimed on her podcast, Two Teas in a Pod, she said that Vanderpump Rules' Scheana Shay told Kiki Monique this really serious rumor. The rumor was supposedly that Gretchen Rossi got roofied, drugged, way back during that infamous naked wasted incident on the Real Housewives of Orange County. And Teddi, who's John Cougar Mellencamp's daughter, apparently heard this from someone named Katie Ginella. Second, Scheana Shay and Kiki Monique, they were not having it. On Scheana's podcast, Shenanigans, they fiercely denied everything. Scheana flat out called it a lie, and both said it was basically defamation. Kiki pointed out that nobody had even heard this specific allegation until RHOC Season 19 stuff started popping up. They also argued that Tamra Judge, Teddi's co-host on Two Teas, supposedly knew the real story and could have edited it out, making her just as responsible for letting false info air. Scheana basically said, oh, I'm fighting back. And finally, Kiki took it to Instagram, calling out John Cougar Mellencamp's daughter directly for spreading lies. Plus, the Bravo investigator account backed Kiki up, showing how complicated it would have been for Scheana to just invent this rumor. They explained Kiki went to a journalist because it was about an alleged crime, not because she wanted attention.
Next, we are going to talk about Charlie Sheen's recent revelations and,
all the public drama involving Denise Richards and Aaron Pfeiffer's. This whole situation really illuminates how these public figures navigate past secrets and evolving family stuff, all under that intense media spotlight. First, Charlie Sheen's making waves by opening up about his past sexual history and his journey with sobriety. So, in his new Netflix documentary, aka Charlie Sheen, and his memoir, The Book of Sheen, he gets really candid about past sexual encounters with men. He said these began during his time using crack cocaine and actually called sharing this fucking liberating, adding, while some was weird, a lot was fun. Sheen also talked about being addicted to sex back then and keeping it all secret due to extortion, saying he felt like a hostage. But he's been sober for 8 years now, quit drugs back in 2015, the same year, you might recall. He publicly revealed his HIV diagnosis. Second, let's look at Denise Richards supporting Charlie Sheen and the resulting backlash from her estranged husband, Aaron Pfeiffer's. Denise attended the premiere of Charlie's documentary, right? Well, that apparently sparked some real dismay from Aaron. Aaron then publicly accused Denise from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, of causing Charlie extreme embarrassment and pain in the past via paparazzi tip-offs. Yikes. But even with Denise and Aaron's messy divorce happening, her relationship with Charlie actually depicts renewed strength. A recent Instagram post from Denise illustrates this perfectly. She shared a red carpet moment where Charlie asked, "Is it 2002?" And she replied, "It sure feels like it," mentioning their ups and downs and her pride.
Next, we're going to talk about the pretty explosive claims Ginella has dropped about Slade Smiley. So this all centers on the latest drama bubbling up around the Real Housewives of Orange County. That show about the lives of women in OC. Ginella, his wife Katie, is on the show now, right? He's going after Slade Smiley. And Slade, well, he's engaged to Gretchen Rossi, who used to be a housewife, and he's been kind of orbiting the show forever, even dated Joe De La Rosa way back. Okay, so these claims from Ginella really illuminate Slade's whole complicated history with the show. First, Ginella basically alleges Slade has this major obsession with the housewives. Like, he claims Slade thinks he's a housewife himself. Points out he's dated, 4 women from the show? And apparently, Slade loves talking about being involved in the early production days, even though Andy Cohen supposedly had to tell him, "Dude, you're not a housewife." It kind of demonstrates that struggle some reality folks have staying in the spotlight, yeah? Second, Ginella gets into how Slade supposedly tried to shut down a story Katie shared. This was about Gretchen claiming Tamra Judge drugged her once. Ginella says Slade actually called him demanding Katie take back her statement. And then, get this, sends a 911 text like, super urgent, saying Katie kind of sealed her own fate because she shared info with Kiki Monique. And finally, Ginella brings up Slade Smiley's 2009 arrest. It was for civil contempt basically, falling behind on child support. Slade had said at the time it was because of his son Grayson's huge medical bills. You might remember Grayson sadly passed away in 2023. He was only 22. So yeah, these claims really just add fuel to the fire, showing the ongoing tensions and back and forth we always see in the Housewives universe.
Okay, so let's talk about Georgia McCann. You might know her from Gen NYC. She's 24, and she just opened up about a really intense struggle with an eating disorder, including a major health scare and, how she's recovering now. First, there was this critical wake-up call, kind of amplified by, public attention. Georgia went through the absolute worst phase of her eating disorder. Losing 25 pounds in just 2 months, down to only 88 pounds. She actually said she could have died. What really hit home was a friend calling, terrified for her life after seeing how thin she was. And then, imagine this, a 400-comment Reddit thread just picking apart her body. She was mortified. Second, Georgia clarifies that this wasn't just about looks, Her eating disorder started way back in 8th grade, and she says it was always centered around control. It basically became this unhealthy way she learned to cope, a maladaptive coping mechanism, when things at home were tough and she was dealing with depression. She talked about restricting food, purging, basically training her mind and body to be repulsed by food. So it highlights how these disorders are often way deeper than appearance. They're about trying to manage internal chaos. Finally, her recovery path involved really embracing something called radical acceptance. Just accepting reality without judgment. After getting, as she put it, sick and tired of being sick and tired, she went into inpatient treatment for almost a month. Now she feels amazing. She credits DBT, that's dialectical behavior therapy, which helps manage intense emotions, and changing how she sees her body now, it's a vessel for living life, not some disposable object. Her transformation really shows the power of getting help and accepting yourself. Next, we're going to dive into some pretty interesting cast news for the Valley. It really looks like some well-known faces from its parent show, Vanderpump Rules, are going to be popping up in Season 3. And this crossover, well, it could really shake things up. First, the big headline here involves Lala Kent. You know Lala, right? Outspoken star from Vanderpump Rules. Well, she was recently spotted filming out in Los Angeles, and get this, she was with current The Valley cast members Janet Caperna and Michelle Sanier. There's even a photo. Michelle shared it first, then Lala put it on her Instagram story. It clearly depicts the three of them together, which kind of seals the deal on her involvement, right? Now, Bravo hasn't officially confirmed the cast yet, but these sightings, they're a pretty strong hint. Second, Lala isn't the only familiar face we're hearing about. Seems like other key Vanderpump Rules folks were seen filming too. Tom Schwartz, who has that long history on VPR, and also Jesse Lally girlfriend, Lacey Nicole. Jesse, of course, is currently on The Valley. These other sightings came from photos shared over on the Queens of Bravo Instagram page. As for when we'll actually see Season 3, yeah, that premiere date is still under wraps. So these sightings really eliminate a major Vanderpump Rules crossover happening for The Valley's third season, setting the stage for some really exciting new dynamics.